I got this whole world pretty much figured out in terms of why it's so bananas. Um, in its summary, the encapsulation of it all is creation's curse, or the curse of creation. And I did a music collection called Creative Destruction. When I saw that concept a while ago, it had to do with an article I read in Wikipedia about how the record labels went through all this creative destruction. It was a term, it's a business term, and it had to do with how you destroy everything and replace it all with new stuff. Sound familiar? It's a similar, I don't want to even use the term. There's other terms similar to that right now where they want to destroy everything and build new things in the place because it helps to consolidate mergers and acquisitions. But anyways, that's a smaller part of a bigger problem, which is the curse of creation. And that's where we are in the world, and that's why nothing can ever go right. What happened is this whole duality from the nothing to the something. And when you manifest this mechanical world, the first thing I guess is manifested is the all. So you have the zero and then you got the all. Now I've read some weird theological books about this from like Walter Russell and people like that, and it deals with the electrical side of it. And they were definitely tapping into the same vein. So the electrical side of it is, I guess, the charge. And it makes perfect sense. We're like in a giant friggin' battery that just goes round and round. And so, but what it is that hard structure of the all is the kind of electroverse. And the electroverse, it then spawns off kind of these smaller versions that create this manifestation of this consciousness in the center. And the consciousness in the center is kind of the pull and push from the two sides. So, the reason that everything is cursed through the creative process is because everything that's created has a flaw. So everything that man creates has the flaws that man creates, which is it's dead. It's mostly dead stuff. I mean, we might start synthesizing things into living things, and that's a whole other can of beans. But then nature creates mostly living things, and then if you think abstractly, you would think that it's like you could think of things theoretically as living, like water. Is it alive? Is it dead? It's definitely moving all around all the friggin' time. It's unstoppable. It's some kind of force. It doesn't have birth, but it does. It spreads and it shreds and it drips and it changes forms, and there's something to it, right? So, anyways, what I'm getting at is nothing in the natural order, so the word nature is a bad word to use because that's humankind's abstraction that's based on a bigger problem, which is the problem of creation's curse. And so what I want to distill here is everything that was created had a flaw. And so everything was not perfect. And so that's why there's this ecosystem. One thing takes care of this flaw, 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 takes care of... So the same way when men and humans try to do anything, and there's all these darn side effects. For every one good thing you try to do, it spawns these problems, especially when we deal with electrical stuff. I mean, the first thing you learn about messing with electrical stuff is you get shocked. And the next thing you learn is there's a radioactive property. So you're going to get cancer. So it's not meant to be dabbled with, that's for sure. And we're really pushing the boundaries, messing with the all-verse, this is basically everything that could possibly be and nothing. Here we are, sandwiched in the middle. I call it man in the middle, human in the middle. And so that's where the curse element comes from. Because everything that was created had a flaw, and the flaw is the curse. And the curse, it's now manifested into the human systems, in the human society, the human's way of doing things. Even though we're on top of the game of the creative process of this reality. And reality is really it. It's like you don't go beyond reality. If you go beyond reality, you hit nothing. Because the point of reality is it's just like anything and everything that the mind of this whole thing, this whole realm, this reality could spawn up is stemming from this concept, this construction of reality. The little thing in the middle, sandwiched between nothing and allverse. And so the people who are controlling the world, they're looking more towards the allverse for pointers. But of course the pointers aren't perfect because nature or the creative process had flaws. And the flaws stem, I think, from the way it's pulled from the allverse, which is everything was not meant to be separated. And so once it started getting separated, the flaws became an interlocking gear. So what we think of as a flaw is really an interlocking gear that connects that thing, and it becomes an elasticity. And so the elasticity means when you're pulling from the allverse, and it's getting all these other components, these side effects that come along with it. And so then those side effects, you hit them, you get them all, but then those have additional side effects and additional side effects. It's like a quicksand reality development creative process. And so that's the summary of the big think on what the heck is happening in this world of 8 billion people. And so we have all this mischief and manipulation that has spawned up because of problems of aging. And the problems of aging mean, more and more malicious intent from people who know how to utilize the systems that have been created by people to reinforce the system to work for their benefit, which is actually against the natural creative development system. But at the same time, it is the natural creative development system because it wants to continually survive. So it would love if this consciousness thing of human beings could go on till, instead of 70 years or 80 years or 90 years, 100 years, 200 years. So that's why you can also see simultaneously human beings are obsessed with mortality, because is it really, or immortality, is it really humans steering? And of course it is not. We're just like this little thing that's in the middle of a grander scheme of the creative curse. Bye-bye.